Hey guys, hello everyone.
Hi, Anton.
Hey Anton, welcome to the stage.
So we're just waiting for Igor, and we'll give the room a little bit more time. We can see lots more people joining. We're also waiting for Igor. Here he is. Brilliant. Well, let's get started then. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is our second ever AMA. And today I am pleased to tell you we are joined by all three of the Sweatcoin Sweat Foundation founders. So hopefully we've got a really great AMA ahead of us. You, our community, are the most important thing, and we want to make sure that you're kept up to date first and foremostly. So as we mentioned last time, we're hoping to do these AMAs every 2 to 3 weeks with a slightly different focus each time and with a selection of different people appearing on stage to tell you the latest. And as I said, this week we're very fortunate to be joined by all three co-founders. We want to make more time today to have a few more questions from the floor. So we're going to talk for sort of 20 to 30 minutes and cover off some of the most commonly questions that have come in. But then we want you to get your thinking hats on and see if there's anything that you want to ask us. Put your hand up. I'll give you a 5-minute notice of that, and we will start to bring people up onto the stage. So just before we get started on the questions and all the exciting things to come with Sweat, I just want to do a few introductions. Hopefully many of you are familiar with Oleg, who we heard from during the last AMA, but I thought you might like to also hear a word or two from Anton and from Igor. I'm going to hand over to you guys, perhaps to introduce yourselves, what you do, where you're from, a little bit of your background. Anton, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jess. Hey guys, pleasure to be here. A little bit about myself. I guess I am the least technical of the three co-founders. And that's despite the fact that I have a degree in computer science, which only telling how proficient both Igor and Oleg are. I was born in a country called Uzbekistan, which is in Central Asia. That was a pretty awesome experience growing up. And then life took me to different places. I lived in Cuba, I lived in South Africa, I lived in Ukraine, I lived in Russia, and I've been living in the UK for the past several years. So prior to Sweatcoin, I was a founder of a small VC focusing on the future of work and talent technology. And prior to that, in my corporate life, and believe it or not, I did have corporate life, which ended up hating absolutely. But in that corporate life, I was with Pepsi. This is where we met Oleg. And then I was a marketing director at Reebok. And this is where I got exposed to the wonderful and exciting world of fitness and health and sports. And I also was involved with the Football World Cup 2010 in South Africa. This is how I spent, half a year there, helping them set up the organization committee. I guess that world is not completely alien to me, but I was really excited to find a solution to inactivity. And this is something that was just, going through my head in early 2014. And this is where I met Oleg, who was very early in crypto at that stage. And we started chatting, and then, the idea was born and we decided to go ahead. So yes, I guess the rest is history.
Well, welcome to the stage. We're looking forward to hearing from you more today, Anton. I'm going to hand over to Igor. Igor, do you want to introduce yourself to the community?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Really excited to be here today. And a few words about myself. was born in Volgograd. I don't think my history is that exciting as Anton, but was born in Volgograd, which is in Russia, which is well known as Stalingrad, and it was boring, so I moved to Moscow, and it was like it was for me a way to start working on some stuff which was exciting to me, and I quickly evolved to founding multiple projects, and one of them led me to meet with Oleg and Anton and start Sweatcoin. So here we are.
Fantastic. And I should say, Igor is our CTO and Anton is our CEO.
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't give their job descriptions. Igor, you need to find some headphones. Your sound's not wonderful either. I realised also I didn't introduce myself. So I'm Jess, and I'm the CMO of Sweat Economy. And so I'll be emceeing the AMA to follow. So last time when we had our first AMA, we talked a lot about the rationale behind the motivation of creating Sweatcoin. We heard from Oleg about the story of where it came from, and now why we're moving into Sweat. But for this AMA, we want to look towards the future. Particularly, we want to turn our attention towards tokenomics, which I'm sure there are many, many questions on. They've been flowing through the community over the last few days since we released our light paper last week, which hopefully many of you have had an opportunity to scroll through and get excited by, we hope. And I'll be selecting a number of questions that have been submitted to us by the fabulous community, the most commonly asked questions that we'll address up front for a few minutes. And then we will open the floor and invite people up on stage if they've got any other questions or they want us to go deeper on any of those specific answers. But first, a very quick and exciting update on community sizes and some of the traction and success that we've had to date. Because let's be honest, it's been a pretty gloomy and depressing week for the crypto markets. So we want to sprinkle a little sunshine here to share some of our own metrics. So it's been just over 1 month since we announced Sweat. And what a month it's been. Incredibly exciting and incredibly rapid traction. And of course, it all starts with you. So the community activity, first and foremost, we now have over 33,000 Discord members. Not nearly enough of them in this AMA, but a hugely significant number for such a young community. We also have 115,000 new Twitter followers from a standing start, and 12,000 in our Telegram group too. But the most important and exciting number, we have had 4.7 million wallets created for Sweat. So if we weren't the biggest on-ramp in Web3 history, we certainly are now, and you guys are very, very much a part of that. In fact, we saw a stat today that estimated that we are 5% of all the Web3 wallets in existence, which is pretty darn exciting. And hopefully you saw the light paper. So we are, as you know, drip feeding more and more information about what's coming, about the token generation event and about tokenomics in this run-up to TGE. So today, as I've mentioned, we want to go into some of those tokenomics in a bit more detail, and in particular, some of the most consistent questions that are coming up across all the different communities, but mostly here in Discord. But we're going to start by addressing a bit of an elephant in the room, because one of the most consistent challenges we have are questions coming up around Android conversion. So I wanted to address that right off the bat. And share a little bit more about what's happening there, our thinking, and what we can tell you. And in fact, I was going to hand over to Igor to potentially take that. So we're getting consistent questions about the challenges, particularly of step counting from certain Android devices. Igor, can you give us an update and an understanding of that, please? Igor, are you there?
Igor, we can't hear you. Are you there?
Seems like Oleg, it will have to be you.
Can you hear me now?
All right, yes.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you weren't dodging the question then. Go on.
Sorry, I just have a bit of an issue with with earphones. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We can.
Okay, yeah. So you started with the most interesting question, I believe, and the case with Android is interesting because we really want to make the experience great on all the devices we support, but with Android it's a bit complicated because not we don't I think we've searched everything to find the way to work sustainably on Android device, but the vendors like Huawei, Xiaomi, etc., are doing the custom versions of Android for their devices in order to prolong the battery life on those devices. So they kind of fake so they cannot make the bigger batteries, but they want better life for the users in terms of the battery power, and therefore they try to fake it, and they try to limit the ability of the apps to work in the background in some smart ways, which is unknown to us like developers, and they start to limit how app works in background, and therefore our app just unable to work in background. And the next question you ask, why do you need to work in background? Because like Google Fit counts steps, etc. But we need to verify those steps that they are real. We cannot rely on what Google tells us, because we cannot rely on Google to protect us from the fraud. So I think not like all of you don't want to use like a sweat as a currency if you know that it's easily fakeable. So you can easily just shake your phone and that's it, you generate sweat. We don't want this, and therefore we want to protect us, ourselves, and you, and we need to verify those, and so we need a way to collect the data on the device. And believe us, now like the best people in company are work on a daily basis on this issue to improve it in any possible way. Oh no, we do our to improve it. We spend like all the resources we have on this, like available resources we have, and the best minds on this in order to improve it. And we will improve it for sure. So kind of keep updating the app. It will evolve, it will improve. Eventually, we hope to improve it for majority of you, and also we will definitely be in a conversation with those vendors in order to work with them to improve our app on the platform in any possible way. So this is the state. So we do our best, but in order for you to improve, you need to help us basically. So we want your help with this. So we want for you to find the right settings on your particular device, because comparing to iOS, there are a lot of different devices on Android. We just cannot buy all the devices and check each device and check the settings of this device and give you the guide how to improve your settings. It's just it's impossible. And there are kind of tens of thousands of such different devices. So you can imagine. And if you find a way to tweak the right settings, let us know how to do this, so we can create this guide for other users who have the same phone, and together we can improve it, and we can make guides for everyone to tweak the settings in order to survive in the background. I think here it is. So we are as frustrated as you are. And I remember the when we first launched the Sweatcoin for iOS, I told Oleg, look, it's bad. The app drains so much battery, we just cannot launch it. But we launched it, and then we found a way to work efficiently later, which is now kind of works 24/7 background, doesn't drain battery at all, and works perfect. So I think we will find a way for Android. At least we do our best. We like make the best effort possible to make it work.
Thank you so much. I do know that that continues to be a concern. Oleg, do please chip in.
Yeah, can I chip in? I cannot stress enough. I think Igor, said a very important thing. In the past, on a lot of devices, the way we found the solution was through, our audience, our users, finding the solution and publishing it, and people replicating the solution. And basically, it's a combination of settings that ultimately makes our app work. So please, if our app works really well on your device, do let us know and let the audience know in Discord or Telegram, whatever, what combination of settings worked for you. Hello?
Yes.
Hello, do you hear me?
We do. Come across loud and clear.
Hello.
Can
Hey,
you
guys.
hear us, Oleg? We can hear you.
Yeah, my headset decided to die. And the second thing that I wanted to say is, please don't make this call in the first couple of days of app working, because there is one thing that we learned, that several manufacturers have really strange setting where in the first day or two, the app is working very well and they start throttling it and killing it in the background after a certain number of hours or days. And if you keep your eye on the way our app is performing first, second, and if on the third day something is starting to go funny, that basically is the reason. And then we need to find the right combination of settings. Sorry for sort of barging in on this, Igor.
It's an important one. I'm glad we were able to address it. Thanks very much. I'm conscious of time and keen to move on to tokenomics and some of the detail that we've had within the light paper and the questions that are coming up. There are two questions that probably come up most consistently, which we should try and attempt to answer in some way. The two are, what's the price and when's TGE? Who wants to take those?
I'm happy to. What's the price? We covered this before, guys. The price for the launch is going to be set the night before, and it's going to be known only at the moment of TGE. It's not going to be published any earlier. Everything that you hear, otherwise, to kind of any specific numbers that you might hear are just rumors. And I think that any project that is advertising or publishing or even frankly talking about price are just chilling. The market decides the price, not the project. We can, I'm sure that you are here believing that we are a big, serious, experienced project that is building for long term. We don't want to have flash in the pan, just sort of to the moon and then back down and it's all over. We want to make sure that the value of physical activity is measured by the value of sweat, in 6 months' time, in a year, in 10 years, and in 20 years. And that means that we need to do things right, and we need to trust that the market will come up with the price very, very quickly. This is on the price. What was the second question, Jess?
When's TGE?
Summer. There was a meme already. When summer? So summer is in Northern Hemisphere. At least that's where we're based, guys. So apologies if this is not your summer. We should have been clearer. It's June, July, August. So within these 3 months, TGE will happen. We need to do quite a lot of work to kind of bring everything together. And we hope that we will be announcing it within next few weeks. Come to our AMAs keep track of our announcements. We'll make sure that we'll do sing and dance, and we will mention that we will have news about TGE for one of those. So bear with us. There are very, very good reasons for us not announcing it right now.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to actually read out some quite specific questions now that have come in from the community. There have been a number around infinite supply, for example. This one, what burn mechanisms are there to control the infinite supply? I know you said it would get harder to mint over time last time, but surely that's not all that is planned. Who wants to take that?
I can start. Anton, you got chip in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the uncapped supply is just one of the aspects, as you rightly said. Kind of the ways to reduce circulating token is absolutely critical. I don't want to be talking about burn because this is a bit sort of contentious as a theme, but let's just say that as a health and fitness app that understands very well the value of physical activity and continuous physical activity, we do have an amazing mechanism that is going to be called inactivity fee that will be levied on users and accounts that after a period of activity cease to be active or go below kind of any reasonable threshold of activity. It is not going to be significant, it's not going to be draconian, it's not going to be amazingly punishing. The objective of this fee is to actually create the what's called loss aversion in behavioral economics. So let's imagine that the fee is actually like 10 steps worth of sweat only, so it's negligible. However, what it does do, it motivates people to make sure that they're not spending a day sitting in front of TV with a beer in their hand, but they are putting some reasonable level of physical activity on a daily basis. So, as far as controlling mechanisms are concerned, this is very unique to our project, and it is specific to to the fact that we are health and fitness, and lack of activity is something that every user would agree is not a very good thing in the health and fitness space. So that alone is a very, very powerful tool that can counter growing supply. Another aspect that is extremely important there is that growing supply is coming at a increased minting difficulty, which means that the actual inflation in monetary mass, even without inactivity fee, is constantly falling. So much so that after 10 years, we're already starting to hit levels of sub 2%, which is considered by any economy or traditional economy a very, very healthy and sustainable level of inflation. If we are starting to look past 10 years, it goes to zero in perpetuity. So I think that we do have a very, very healthy set of levers. So one is increasing minting difficulty that reduces inflation, and second, inactivity fee that will be a mechanism to take tokens out of circulation.
So yeah, let me just add to that, guys. So I think a really, really good overview of the supply side of things. On the demand side of things, so I like to just to basically separate it into two buckets. One bucket is the exogenous revenue that the economy creates, and that exogenous revenue will be coming from different sources. We are very good at monetizing the engagement that we have. And obviously, as we are already enjoying almost 5 million registered wallets, the levels of engagement, levels of active users we're expecting for Sweat Wallet is going to be considerable. and we're going to be able to monetize engagement in a variety of different ways. So there's a bunch of exogenous revenue channels that we can do lots of exciting things with. Again, I'm not going to talk about buy and burn at this stage. And the second bucket there is the token sinks. And there we're particularly excited about two. It's staking and it's NFT experience. Because we all know what's been happening in the move to earn and play to earn space. I think there's lots of lessons to be learned. I don't think that the existing products in the space, they are all exciting. They are not perfect. They are not without the weaknesses there. We're certainly learning from their mistakes, and we're definitely going to improve the NFT experience that we're building right now. It's going to be an evolving token sync. It's really exciting. So just watch the space. We're going to be able to share with you some thoughts about it relatively soon. So once again, on the token syncs, staking, and NFTs, on the other bucket, revenue in a variety of different sources.
You preempted my next question, which was going to be around NFTs. We've had a few people ask when NFT minting will start. Do we have to buy any NFT to walk more after TGE, like shoes? Do we need any NFTs to enable us to swap or withdraw our Sweatcoin? If yes, when? How much will it cost to buy them? And what will be the utilities of the Sweat NFT? I know you've touched upon it already, Anton. Is there anything else that we want to share with regards to thinking there?
Yeah, guys, a little bit of patience. We are working through a few really exciting ideas here. One thing I can say for sure is that we're definitely going to leverage all the exciting mechanics and the kind of the approach taken by other play to earn, move to earn projects out there. But at the same time, we will be true to our roots and to our DNA, which is to make walking accessible to everyone. So there'll definitely be, because right now, guys, let's face it, in order to participate, it's not actually move to earn, it's pay to move to earn, and it's not play to earn, it's pay to play to earn, right? So, the barriers for entry are quite considerably high. We're talking about like 8-10 SOL, right? That's not inexpensive. So not everybody can afford it. And philosophically, for us, that's unacceptable. We do want to cater to whales, for sure. Whales are very important to us, but at the same time, we want to build an experience for an everyday user. And the everyday user may not necessarily have, lots of money, but they have lots of energy. They have lots of willingness to walk and change their habits and be healthy. And to those users, we really want to cater. At the end of the day, they are not, they're as important as the whales, if not more important. So what I can tell you for sure is that our experience around NFTs will be built along those two avenues. We're going to cater to whales, and yes, we're going to cater to the everyday user.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm conscious of time, and I've got a few very quick questions that I'm going to run through now, and then within 5 minutes, in about 5-6 minutes time, we'll open up the floor for questions. So do put your hand up if you'd like to join us on stage and ask anything specific. A few more quite specific questions that I wanted to share. Do we plan to have other blockchain network support other than NEAR? Let's take that.
I think it's too early to make comments on this. We will definitely launch on NEAR. We have a lot of other blockchains that are very interested in talking to us, given how much momentum we have and how many new users we'll be bringing into Web3. As Jess mentioned, 5% of all Web3 wallets right now are on Sweat Economy. So we're very interesting partners, but we are committed to going into TGE on NEAR, and we'll be making announcements, later on in further partnerships that will be coming.
Thank you. Perhaps one for Igor, this one. Will it be possible to engage in different sports for minting Sweat in the future? For example, cycling, skiing, swimming.
Yes, absolutely. That's the plan basically, which we outlined in our white paper, is that we are willing to build and support other movement verificators, which will verify and validate the different type of movements. And yeah, that's kind of what's coming. But it won't be like today, tomorrow, or this summer.
Thank you. Are we planning collaboration with other projects or from suggestions from our community? Let's take that.
Sorry, Jess, my connection went bad. Could you repeat the question?
Apologies. So it's, are we planning collaboration with other projects or taking suggestions from our community for collaborations?
Absolutely, we're very keen on this. I am talking to a number of projects already building on Near and on other blockchains very actively. It is something that we do very well already in Web2. This is definitely something that we're very keen on doing in Web3. If you are representing another project that is interested in, in working with us, by all means, let us know. We'd be glad to hear from you.
Yeah, guys, just to add a little bit to that. So obviously the vision right now is with the launch of Sweat, and Sweatcoin will be the first and only movement validator. But the long-term vision is that we want to create, why we call ourselves Sweat Economy, is that we're actually creating an ecosystem with multiple movement validators. So there'll be other movement validators validating swimming or going to the gym, pull-ups, push-ups, whatever type of physical activity you can imagine. So the long-term view is that we're going to create an ecosystem. We're going to be essentially a layer 0 for move to earn, so that other move to earn projects will be able to build on top of us. So that's the plan. Therefore, if you are such project, do get in touch, and we'll see what we can do together.
Thank you. 2-minute warning, if anyone's got any questions, do put your hand up. We'll be bringing people up shortly. Here was an interesting one. It would be nice to find a real use for the Sweat token. Is it possible to integrate with social networks, Twitter or Instagram? That could be for wonderful mass adoption. Blockchains such as Flow and Solana are already on this path. Is it something that we are considering?
Oleg, do you want to take that one?
Sorry, guys, I'm struggling a little bit with my connectivity. It's a bit crap. I apologize. Could you play the question again?
Are we planning on integrating with any social networks like Twitter or Instagram, which could be great for mass adoption? Blockchains such as Flow and Solana are already on this path. Is it something we've considered?
It's a very good question. I don't know. This is definitely not something that is on top of our priority list, but I would absolutely love whoever asked this question, if you could ping me and send me some information as to what kind of projects or what shape these integrations take. I would absolutely love to learn more and potentially put them into our roadmap.
Just to add to that, guys, so one clear thing that definitely we're going to have with NFTs is that there'll be an avatar-related NFT experience. And looking forward, we potentially, going forward, that is, we potentially can see how those can be integrated throughout the social networks and just beyond. Again, it's too early to say, because that's definitely not top of our minds and not the immediate priority for us, but we can easily see how that happens, evolves in the next 12 to 18 months.
Well, it's a very good point, Anton. Yeah, if you're talking about the integration from the Twitter's side that where you can validate your NFT, then absolutely, this is something that we will, we will be doing. If there is, if it is beyond this, then I would be very interested in learning more.
Great, thank you. And apologies, I gather the hand turning on wasn't turned on. It is now, so we will be bringing people up shortly. I had one question I wanted to ask you, Oleg, which was my favourite that came into us on Twitter. Why does Oleg look like Elon Musk? Any comments?
I wish I could say, he's my dad, but I think that that's not going to be true. So I don't know. Why does he look like me? I think is probably the right comeback.
To be fair, I see no similarities between you at all. And I'm the proud owner of an Oleg Fomenko NFT now, and I can attest to the fact that you look nothing like him. But interesting feedback from the community there. Okay, we have a number of hands raised. Is there a moderator who can help bring up a few to the stage? I don't know if Sareem's around or Wimps. I don't know if they need to be on stage to do that. Here they come. Oh, they're here. Fine. Right. Let's hear from some of the community then. Plex, yes, you're first. Yes, if you could unmute, let us know what your question is for us, please.
Yeah. I have a question about since supply is not capped, it's unlimited. So I have a logical question. Will you have a burn mechanism? Hello?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think we started answering this question. The answer is we're not talking about burns. If you don't know why, then please do your own research. But we will have mechanisms to control the number of tokens out there. And I did talk about inactivity fee. This is one of few mechanisms that we will be introducing.
Yeah, Plex, just, to elaborate on this a little bit more, we like to think about this from a perspective of supply and demand, right? So supply, it's going to be a decelerating inflation curve, asymptotic to zero. That's on the supply side, plus the inactivity fee. On the demand side, as I said, two buckets. One is the revenue generated from extrinsic sources, extrinsic to the economy, and second is the token sinks. And those are two, as I said, it's staking and NFTs. I hope that makes sense structurally.
Thank you for your question. I think next up on stage was Legend X1 or Legend 11. What's your question for the stage, please?
Yeah, so hope I'm audible.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, audible.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have two questions. One is after TG, the SWC coin will not be the main thing, right? It will be Sweatcoin will be the most talked about thing. And also regarding our marketing, whether we'll be having any celebrity endorsements or anything planned in such a way.
Can you repeat your second question, Legend?
Yeah, so whether in marketing we'll be having any celebrities, since there are many celebrities who love to walk and are fitness oriented people.
I think that the second question should be addressed to our own celebrity. Jess is a celebrity in her own right. I believe that, Jess, you are the CBO, the
M for marketing.
No. I'm talking about your, kind of honorable knighthood, or
don't MBE. Yes.
Yeah. I think that Jess is a knight of realm. I think that she's probably best person to talk about celebrity endorsements. But the first question, let me jump on that. After TGE, Sweatcoin and Sweat will coexist. Sweatcoin will continue being a currency of Sweatcoin app. The biggest difference for those that will be working for Sweat or playing effectively a crypto, game, will be that the first 5,000 steps each day will be converted into Sweat that you will be earning and you will be putting into your Sweat wallet instead of earning Sweat coins. If people don't want to, opt into crypto, they will be able to continue converting even their first 5,000 steps into Sweat coins and continue using the app the way they're using it right now. And I'll hand over to Jess on the celebrity front.
Thank you. Yeah, on the marketing front, I mean, we are a Web 2 to Web 3 company. We want the Sweat brand to exist in the real world and not just in the virtual world. And all of our marketing efforts want to cross those streams. We want to be at events. We want to be visible in the physical world. We want to be visible on people as they're walking around, demonstrating that they're walking around and earning as they do so. And yes, we're absolutely looking for partners that are passionate about that vision and that mission to get the world moving more. Whether they're celebrities, if they share our vision and they're open to working with us, we are open to working with anybody that can help us to elevate our brand message and take it to the billion people that we want to bring into this space. So yes, there's going to be lots of exciting partnerships being announced, not just perhaps with celebrities, but also, of course, influencers within different categories. And also with health and fitness brands and other real-world brands that you have in your homes and that you engage with on a daily basis. So we'll be announcing those as ever to the community first and foremost. So stay tuned, and as they come out down the pipe, you will be the first to know. So thank you for those questions; they were fantastic. I think next up on stage was Pasua. Apologies if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What's your question for the panel?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I have a question which might sound a bit stupid, but I'm not really versed with crypto. I was wondering, you say that at launch at TGE, Sweat will be on the near blockchain. I know that trading happens on exchanges. So how will people be able to trade their Sweat on a blockchain? And yeah.
Oh, we lost him, sadly. I thought that was a lovely question, though. And I just, that question really highlighted to me what we're trying to do with Sweat as well. We really are looking to onboard millions, as we have already, from Web 2 into Web 3. And I think as a community, we should all be taking the time to help educate our newer users to this world. And indeed, we're looking to potentially integrate channels within the discourse itself where those that are more experienced within this space will be able to mentor those that aren't. So I really, really welcome questions like that because I think it's totally in the spirit of what we're trying to achieve with Sweat. Oleg, do you want to touch on that quickly, or perhaps you, Anton, or whoever wants to jump in? I think it was a great question.
Yeah, we're having conversations with a lot of projects that are trading platforms, DEXs and SEXs who approach us. So, there will be plethora of options after TGE to trade Sweat. We're not going to sort of make any comments on names at this stage because it's premature, but rest assured that you will have options to choose from.
Thank you. I think Vintajevic, forgive my pronunciation, you're up next.
Hello guys.
We hear you.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's Vintage Fake. So more of a suggestion. I was wondering if the team thought out the option of having like a chat room in the Sweatcoin app for friends to communicate and get in touch. I think it would be unique. Just wondering if the team might thought of something like that.
It's a great question. We did consider that. The chat functionality is quite heavy. And we decided we have some very rudimentary type of chats within the app, but it's not public. And we did consider that, and we decided not to proceed with this for now. But you'll be excited to know that right now we are looking at some really cool social features that the team is developing. So it may very well be that as soon as we launch those, those social features, that will require some chat functionality. So watch the space. Again, cannot promise that we're going to launch it anytime soon, but may very well be the case sometime next year. But no promises.
Thank you. I brought Pasua back up because I think one of our doormen was a bit overzealous in chucking him out before his second question. So we wanted to give him a chance to come back and ask his second question. Over to you, Pasua.
Thank you. And thanks Oleg for the answer regarding the near blockchain and the project to move these maybe later on to exchanges. My question now is, when we are at TGE will be on the near blockchain, what activities will sweat holders be able to perform on those blockchains with their sweats?
Yeah, thank you for your question. The roadmap that we published is giving you sort of high level information, but what we're going to have at the start is, of course, your ability to transfer sweat to other primitives or projects that you would like to engage with. And near ecosystem is getting more and more vibrant by the day. I was talking to a project yesterday evening who is going to launch, they're launching within the next couple of weeks on Near. It's the NFT marketplace. So, it's really, really quite dynamic, and I'm really excited as to how many projects and teams are moving onto Near right now. The other stuff is going to be staking. So you'll be able to stake your sweat and earn, yield, interest, however you think about it. You actually going to be able to grow the amount of sweat by locking it into what we will be calling growth jars, to give you a bit of a sneak preview. We're also working on a very interesting NFT project. To what degree and how much of its functionality is going to be available at TGE, we cannot reveal right now. The last but not least, we're going to have a very interesting range of rewards that will also be linked to an amount of sweat that you will have staked in your Sweat wallet.
Thank you. I think next up we have Mijulski. What's your question for the panel?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can, I remember it saying that you can, the first 5,000 steps turn into sweat, and then the rest turn into sweat coins, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So then, if getting, like, when it gets harder and harder to get, so like when it gets harder to get the sweat coins, then then 5,000 steps won't be enough to get one in a day.
Yes.
So like if you can only get 5,000 steps, it said like in 10 years you need 40 something thousand steps. But if only 5,000 per day like turn into sweat, then you can't reach 40,000.
Yeah, absolutely. So you will get a 0.1 sweat per day, or a little bit more, 0.12, I think. It all depends on the value of sweat at that moment of time. And we believe that it is actually a very interesting dynamic, because the earlier you move, the better return you get on your physical activity. So that means that walking today is better than walking this coming weekend. Walking in the morning is better than walking in the evening. That helps the world to be more active and put one foot in front of another more times per day, and making the whole network of sweat economy more valuable, because there will be more users who will be more active, and that creates an immense amount of economic value for the world that we will be capturing as a community together.
Love it. Great response. We've got just under 10 minutes left. We're going to continue taking a few more questions, but just also want to say, do stay tuned for the end of the AMA, because we'll be announcing another community contest and an opportunity to get extra sweat. So do stay tuned for that. I will hand over now to Ethan, who is next up with his question. What's your question, please, Ethan?
Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
We can, loud and clear.
All right. So I have just two questions. Then the last one would be like a suggestion. All right. So the first one would be can it be possible for us to have a barcode as our referral link? Instead of using the usual sending someone a link, probably on WhatsApp or social media, for someone to click on that link and then download. All right. So the reason is because some people are very, very skeptical when it comes to link and clicking on any fishy stuff. So I would love to know. I don't know if we have that on ground yet, but I would love to know. All right. So the second one would be on what's it called? The premium subscription. You guys are only dealing with Web2 environments. All right. So some countries do not actually accept payment or all payment through Web3 Web2 payment gateways. All right. So what do I mean? Some parts of African countries do not accept Apple payment. All right. So let's say I want to make a purchase of a premium subscription on our Sweatcoin. So how can I do that? I know that will be possible after TGE, but I would like to do that now before TGE, because I know that probably by then some of the discounts might not be available and stuff like that. So if you guys can provide a way we can do that now, before 2 months time or 3 months time after TG, that would be nice. Then the last it's not actually a question, but to support what the other guy suggested about adding a social platform on the app, whereby your friends and you can actually sweat together or exercise together. It would be nice if you guys can add music as well. All right. So let's say I want to go jogging with my friends who are all over around the world, probably in another country. There should be a music that probably we agree to play, and then, like he said, a chat section would be nice as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions and suggestion. Cool suggestion. Let us think about it. There is a there's one thing that we learned about ourselves. We would like to be more inclusive and not necessarily focus on people who run and who do sport. We would like to include everyone who walks and takes steps every day. So we need to kind of think how this can play out for those people as well. With regards to your question about premium, very good question and the challenge. To be honest, we have not thought about it because this is the first time that we're confronted by this situation. Let us think if we can introduce quickly enough an alternative route to pay, but it could be it could be not as trivial as I am thinking right now. But let us take a note of this.
I love all those questions. I think they're all the value of community. I think all three of those questions, gave us insights and ideas and suggestions and perhaps challenges that, we're not aware of in certain territories. And that is ultimately the whole point of community, that, we listen and we take these ideas. By the way, there is an unofficial Spotify playlist that I have set up that I think's a great playlist for walking. And I'll get one of the content moderators to post that in the channel if you want a little bit of motivation with your movement. It's a bit old school, I have to admit, but I would love any suggestions from the community for tracks that should be put on that playlist. Next up, I think it was Marcus Venicius. Do you have a question for the panel, please? Can't hear you. Don't know if you're on mute. This isn't Clubhouse. You can't flash your mic. Oh dear, I think we're having sound issues. Stay there for a minute and I'll perhaps try you again. Let us go next to Jova, who I think was next in line.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Hey, first of all, thank you for letting me up on stage. I want to thank you all, guys, for this app that you've created. I love it. I like it. I've been using it for like about a year and a half since you guys came out. It's an excellent app. I love it. My only question is, I live in the States, and I am waiting so much to be able to get the token app. When can this be? I don't know if I'm sorry, I'm late. I don't know if someone already asked that question, but that's about it. When can we download the app for the tokens? That's all.
Very good question. So the Sweat Wallet app will be available for TGE. So in summer, when the token is live, because without the token, the Sweat Wallet app has very little to no utility for all of us. So we will be celebrating TGE by making sure that all of you can install Sweat Wallet and get your balances and start using it.
Sorry, Oleg, I think the question was quite specifically about the US.
Yeah. In the US, we currently do not have crypto offered, but we are doing everything we can to change the situation, and hopefully it might change before TGE, but I cannot guarantee this. It is possible that it will happen after TGE, but when we're talking about crypto app or Sweat Wallet, as it will be called, it will be available at TGE.
Guys, just to add a little bit to that, those of you familiar with crypto, you know that we are a consumer mainstream product that's available to billions of people, and we want to make sure that we are aligned with all the regulations that are out there. And right now, the US, there's a bit of ambiguity around this, so we want to be on the absolute good side of things. Therefore, it's a bit of uncertainty around the US plans at the moment.
Thank you for that. Okay, last two questions, if indeed Marcus's mic is asking, and then Sareem will be joining us on stage to tell us about the competition that we have planned. Marcus, how's your mic? Can you hear us? Can we hear you? Fail. We will look for you at the next AMA and get you up. Sorry that we weren't able to hear you today. So, Marco, what's your question for the panel?
We can't hear you, Marco.
He's on my. Oh, no. Again, another mic flasher, unfortunately. Oh, well, that was a disappointing last question and end to the AMA. Gart.
Can we get one final question? No? Yes?
Let's see. Yeah, bring someone else up. Mods.
Yeah, we have Scott here, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh.
So, yeah, my question, I believe Oleg just answered it. I myself live in the States as well. And when I was reading the roadmap, I saw that it mentioned that TGE was going to be a one-time occurrence. That would be the one time that you'd be able to convert your sweat coin to sweat. I know that there's a lot of logistics and a lot of legalities when it comes to crypto in the US. My question is, once you guys actually approve or integrate sweat into the US, will we be able to convert the current balance that we have to sweat, I'm assuming?
That's a very good question. It's a very difficult question to answer right now because the rate is going to be completely different. I'm going to have to put a thinking hat on and promise to revert to you on this a little bit later.
Thank you all. I think that's all we have time for. Again, we've run a little bit over time, but we will build in more time for questions at the end of the next AMA, which we'll be posting in the community. Really want to thank everybody that asked questions. They were fantastic, and I'm sorry we didn't manage to get through more of you. And thank you all for joining us on the AMA. We've had a really healthy sized audience today. Hope you've learned something new and remain hugely excited about what we're building here at Sweat and being part of this journey with us. You will get all the announcements, all the news, all the gossip about what's happening and when here first. So do keep busy in the community. Help each other. If you see newbies, those new to crypto within the community, we welcome your support in teaching them about this exciting new world. And we'll be building in more and more mechanics to enable you to do that and indeed reward you for doing that. I'm going to hand over to Sareem, who's got a bit of an announcement with regards to a competition and a challenge that we would love to get you involved in. Sareem, welcome to the stage. Tell us more.
Thank you so much. Everyone able to hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So guys, we've done a bunch of giveaways in the past, which was all very fine and cool. Thank you all so much for participating. But we've hit some incredible milestones recently. 4 million wallets in less than 30 days. That's no joke at all. And like Oleg and Jess mentioned, the fastest on-ramp in Web3 history. And we want to give back, but we also want to get everyone involved. So no more guessing games. Our community moderator is just about to announce it. But since you guys attended the AMA, I want to give you a bit of a head start. The first 1,000 users that opt into the announcement for the next 4 days, you will have the chance to 4x your Sweatcoin earnings. And remember, these will be turned into Sweat 1-to-1 at TGE. So it's a walkathon. Get your walking shoes on. Get as many steps as you can. The top 40 of the 1,000 participants that we have will not only get 4x their earnings, but the top 10 will also be able to get gift cards of their choice, as well as some additional bonuses in Sweat. So get your walking shoes ready. Get yourself active. Wimps, if you could announce it into the channel and let people sign up. Remember, it's only limited to the first 1,000, but since all of you attended the AMA, you all have a head start.
I'll just let you know it's in Walkathon Challenge. It's right under AMA questions.
Thanks so much, Sareem, and thank you, Wimps, for setting that up. Look forward to seeing who our winners are in that and how many steps you all get up to. Thank you so much to Igor and Anton and Oleg for giving up your time to the AMA. It's been a great session, and we'll be announcing the next shortly within the next few days. And do look out for us on our other channels as well. We'll be doing a Twitter Spaces AMA in the next week, and with some of our partners. Again, we will let you know here when and where they will be. And thank you again very, very much for joining us. It's been a great session. Thank you.